beat a clearly maligned.
No, just ask questions. Don't add all this extra stuff. I already know what you're about to do. You're about to make it. You're about to put this nice little fluffy pillow bed on the ground for Giannis. Giannis, make sure this is good before I ask this question. I want to make sure that this is not Giannis' fault.
No, the question is predicated upon the pretense.
Okay, go ahead.
Me asking are they fool's gold is because they beat a maligned team and because they beat a Knicks team that I've been told isn't that good.
All right. Are the Celtics fool's gold?
No, they haven't played them.
Are the Suns fool's gold? The Lakers?
No.
The Warriors? Because the Heat have more playoff wins than all those teams since the 2019-2020 season. More than all of them. All of them. All of them, Shady.
Playoff wins?
More playoff wins than all of them. Let's just go through the last 4 seasons.
I respect that.
We're going to talk about the Bucks real quick. The much aligned Bucks, maligned Bucks. All right, so 1920, they made it to the finals, beat the Bucks and Celtics on the way there, played in the NBA Finals. Then they had a down season where they lost to the Bucks. Down season still made the playoffs, though, Shady. Then last year, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7 against the Celtics. Last year, who won there? Bucks won there. Who won there? Sixers weren't there.
Shots fired.
Knicks weren't there. Hawks weren't there. Who was there? Celtics Heat last year. They're 1 win away from going back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Back to back.
Just give me some credit. I know, y'all. I know it still burns in y'all's soul. Burns, get it? It burns in your soul that LeBron James chose the Miami Heat and took his talents to South Beach. Really, it's downtown Miami, but it doesn't matter. I know it still upsets you, but it doesn't matter. What are we talking about? The Heat have more playoff wins, let me do it one more time, than the Celtics, the Bucks, the Suns, the Lakers, the Warriors, since the 1920 season. No, it's not fool's gold. It's cool, y'all. The Heat are a good organization. Jimmy Butler is a really great player in the postseason. Eric Spoelstra is a Hall of Fame coach. Pat Riley runs a great organization, and they're good basically every single year. 2 of the last 4 seasons, they ended the Bucks season. So are the Bucks fool's gold?
I'm telling you right now, I'm not going next. Just telling you.
She's talking to you. She asked you a question, brother. She's not talking to me.
She's talking to you.
Bucks on the line. Bucks on you.
2 of the last 4 seasons,
She on your head, boy.
the Heat have
I'm on
said,
your head, boy.
heaven on the Cabo. Bye.
Shady, let's kick back.
Yeah, she tearing him up right now.
I'm not tearing him up.
I know you is.
It's always about how the Heat are they're just scrappy. They're just figuring it out. Just got a little bit of luck on the way there. What are we talking about?
I don't lie. They play hard. They play tough.
They can it just be that they're a good organization who plays good basketball?
They very, very coach well and a great organization. Only thing I don't like them.
Welcome to the MarcWes Sports Podcast.
Yeah, he didn't want to come on. He was like, man, we gonna lose. The nigga said that the Knicks are trash, man. That's why I really wanted him here, but all good.
Yeah. All right. Well, since we recording, it's the MarcWes Sports Podcast. I'm Marcus Benjamin, chilling with Wes Pierre, also known as Westradamus. You see it on the screen. And we bring you that real sports talk from Dade County, Broward County, Palm Beach County, South Florida. And it's been a great couple of weeks for our South Florida teams. The Heat, 8th seed, still doing their thing, still in the playoffs, up right now in the series. In the second round of the playoffs, the Panthers are on the brink of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second time in history. Second time since 96, man. 96.
I think
I was a different person in 96. I tell you that, man. Totally different person, totally different mindset. Who knew I would be this guy right now? But anyways, the Heat. First, I want to shout out the Heat just because, they took care of business at home. At home, you take care of business. That's what you're supposed to do. Take care of business. And we already in this series went to New York and beat them in game 1. So we took care of business at home, and then we stole one on the road. I mean, it's just like when you smashing a dime, man. It's easier. It's easier to do things at home. You know what I'm saying? I was always trying to I always try to get the Dom to come to my place because it's just easier to kind of navigate things. I think what I'm saying, and rather than going to some foreign territory, you never know what can happen, huh?
Her place, foreign.
Yeah, her place. You never know what can happen at that point. So everything went smoothly at home for us. We knocked them down. Game 3 and game 4. You see what I did there, Wes?
Wrong.
And but that's how we do it. But then unfortunately, we do have to say that the Heat did lose last night to the New York Knicks, and it was still a close game. They were, desperate, trying to save their season. They were able to come up with a victory only because we had a bad shooting night. You know what I'm saying? I went back and looked at the stats. I was like, damn, it was really bad for real. Because Kevin Love went 0 for 7.
Yeah, man.
0 for 7 from the field. Jimmy Butler didn't even shoot a 3, which he's usually good for 2 at least. And Gabe Vincent wasn't efficient from 3. The only person efficient from 3 was Caleb Martin, and he only shot 2 for 4. And also Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson. But the thing is, he shot 10 threes. You know what I'm saying? That's still a lot. He hit 5 of them. 50% is good percentage. But you still kind of want to see a little bit more efficiency. But glad to see that he's getting in rhythm, because when you need a Duncan Robinson to pull through in a game, that he's already ready. He's already warming up. This next game, obviously, it's a must-win for the Knicks, but I think this game is a must-win for the Heat. We can't afford to lose this game. Not only do we not want to go to a Game 7 back in New York, but at the same time, we want to rest up for the next series. And I think people forgot that Jimmy Butler rolled his ankle in Game 1 or Game 2, was it? Was not sure.
Game 2.
Yeah. So he still needs rest from that ankle. And from what I see from Jimmy Butler, he's pretty good on offense, but he's not as tenacious on defense. And I think that's because of the ankle. I think he kind of is resting, even with the ankle. I mean, he's still blocking people and doing his thing. But I think there's some possessions, if you watch Jimmy Butler, he's not going all out with his defense, because I think he's trying to save his ankle. So yeah, man, I think this is a must win for the Heat on Friday night. I don't know why the NHL and the NBA keep doing this to us, doing the same game at the same time. I already have anxiety watching one game. Now I'm watching 2, and both of those games were close in the end. Miami brought it down to a 2-point lead in the end. And then the Panthers scored a late goal to make it a 1-goal game in the third period. So I was just like, man, why are they doing it to us? And they doing it to us again on Friday. But I got all the confidence in the world that we're going to come out with 2 victories on Friday night. Yeah,
definitely, man. I mean, the Panthers, they swooping down, they doing their Black Panther thing, even though it's a Florida Panther thing. They doing their thing. And, the reason why I'm feeling a little better that we were up 3-2 now, with them individuals. Them Canadians was like, we want Florida. Yes. Now y'all got Florida, and we giving y'all exactly what y'all wanted. You feel me? I like the atmosphere of hockey. Of course, my dog Marcus and Christian actually introduced me to hockey, kind of, had me held my hand.
To a game yet?
I haven't been to a game yet, but just looking at the atmosphere, when I watch the game, when I try to watch the game, because of course, like you said, the Miami Heat be playing at the same time. When I try to watch the game, I'm like, yeah, I'm vibing. I love it really does feel like home court advantage really, really means something when it comes to hockey. But as far as like the way they be going crazy and stuff like that. It's a different atmosphere. I wouldn't mind going. I remember last year, I think you went to one of the games, which was lit. You
Yeah,
know,
I did. I went with wifey, and now wifey likes hockey. You know what I'm saying? She barely even likes sports. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But after that game, she was like, "I like it. I like hockey," because she was like, she was explaining it to somebody else yesterday. She was like, "It's just so fast. It's like you don't realize how fast they're going until you're there."
and that's kind of how wifey had got into basketball, because I guess when we first started dating, I think the big three have formed like soon after, if not the same year, somewhere around that time. And like you said, it's a fast pace, you know, when it comes to basketball. I mean, she still truly don't really like football that much, you know, because you know you got to sit there, and you know sometimes it's a defensive game, and it's probably a 7-point, 3-point game or something like that. Not right now, because we got the arm of the almighty Tua, different topic, but still, man, I want to definitely go to a Panthers game, and I wouldn't mind going after we become champions, because it's gonna, if you're thinking the atmosphere is lit now, you know, when you got that aura of being a champion, you know, that confidence and stuff like that, especially like what you said, since 96, I think I was like in the 5th grade, 4th grade then in 96 or something like that. So, you know, if we could go ahead and continue on having our foot on their throat, of course, last game we lost, same like the Miami Heat. But I think that they want to come to the. What did we lose here?
What you mean?
I mean,
hockey?
The last game here, or was it up
the
north?
Panthers game was here. The Panthers game was here. So now we got to go back up here.
Yeah, and I think the reason, again, cynical West, conspiracy theorist West, you know, why beat them at our crib when these the same people that say we want the Florida Panthers? Let's kill y'all in your own building. You feel me? Yeah. Let's kill y'all in your own building instead of you having to just change the channel, you know? Because it would have been very convenient that we whoop that ass, spank that ass, beat that ass, and all you need to do is just change the channel. Nah, I want y'all to be nice and cold weather with snow on the ground and have to deal with black ice and have to deal with all type of things that involves being up north in the snow, you know. But regardless of the fact, I don't even know how we got a Panthers team. If you're talking about how Greeny's talking about, you know, he don't understand how the Knicks with the stadium, how they can be so exhausted because of the weather in Miami. So I don't even know how to ice the stadium. You feel me?
Particularly from Jalen, was how hard it is to go down to Miami and play this time of year. And I know people will immediately associate that with the nightlife and all that. But according to Jalen, there's more than that. There's also just the reality of the temperature change, the heat, the geography, being down there for 3 days. It sort of saps a little bit of your energy and your strength. We talk about that primarily in football. I know this is an indoor sport, but I mean, the Knicks, whatever it is, Jimmy Butler is just has just destroyed them.
I don't know how the ice can go ahead and stay frozen and not be melted. Being in Miami with people like that, this is the type of stuff that make me feel some type of way, because they got people like that speaking on the national stage. You feel me? And it just shows how little of sports that they do know, you know. And the funny thing is, I used to like Greeny. You feel me? I mean, I used to like him. I used to watch him all the time before I went to college with Mike Golick. It used to be the Mike and Mike show. I used to always watch him. Every Halloween, him and Golick used to have like costumes on. I think he was like Batman and Robin at one time. I used to vibe him. You know, I ain't seen him in a while, but then he wound up being the main host on ESPN for that talk show. And he disappoints me every time now. Same like Jalen Rose. Disappoint me every time. I'm like, damn, Jalen Rose, you know, I fought with you, man, since Michigan, even though I don't like, you know, up road teams, but you know, the Fab Five, you know, I kind of vibe y'all, know, and the long shorts, you know, I vibe that. It was like, man, he was my type of guy, you feel me? And then when you go on ESPN, you hear him speaking, it's like, man, yeah, you a basketball player, yeah, you an analyst now, but you a street nigga. I feel you. And now I just look at him now and I'm like, damn, boy. I mean, I would expect that from Greeny, but you the one that started it. It came out of your mouth, and he piggybacked off it. But regardless of the fact,
I don't think it was. I I think it was Jason Williams. I think.
It was
Jalen Rose.
Jalen Rose, man.
Jalen Rose said that. Oh,
Yes.
that got me disappointed, man.
You see, that's what
I'm more disappointed from Green. Like I used to kind of like Mike and Mike too, but I always felt some kind of way because he was a Jets fan. You know what I'm saying? But Jalen Rose, he represents the culture. You know what I'm saying? To me, you know, the Fab Five, the all black sneakers, you know, the shorts, like you were saying, and I don't know, man. And he's always talking like hip hop when he's on his shows, and he knows about it too. It's not like he's just saying it. So
he played a dope boy on BMF.
Huh?
He played a dope boy on BMF.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, this is what comes out of your mouth, man. Poor representation of the community, man. But
yeah,
you know, I'm gonna give him a pass. You feel me? Because I think after he said it, he knew he fucked up. You feel me? But yeah, man, the Florida Panthers, man, they looking good. Of course, they lost the last game on home court. But regardless of the fact, if you think it's cynical like me, let's go whoop that ass and kill them in their own stadium and have their fans have to, you know, deal with the traffic, deal with all the turmoil, and have those long conversations on your drive back home, on your trains home, you know. And we're going to be over here in the nice warm weather outside of the stadium waiting for the next opponent.
Yeah.
That's what I truly feel about the Panthers right now.
Since you talked about Jalen Rose and just people on TV, man, I got to shout out my girl, Joy Taylor. You know what I'm saying? I really got to shout her out because she's the only one from the crib that really represents from down here.
Why you beat a clearly maligned?
No, just ask questions. Don't add all this extra stuff. I already know what you're about to do. You're about to make it. Just put this nice little fluffy pillow bed on the ground for Giannis. Giannis, make sure this is good before I ask this question. I want to make sure that this is not Giannis's fault.
No, the question is predicated upon the pretense.
Okay, go ahead.
Me asking are they fool's gold is because they beat a maligned team and because they beat a Knicks team that I've been told isn't that good.
All right. Are the Celtics fool's gold?
No, they haven't played them.
Are the Suns fool's gold? The Lakers?
No.
The Warriors? Because the Heat have more playoff wins than all those teams since the 2019-2020 season. More than all of them. All of them. All of them, Shady.
Playoff wins?
More playoff wins than all of them. Let's just go through the last 4 seasons.
I respect that.
We're going to talk about the Bucks real quick. The much aligned Bucks, blind Bucks. All right, so 1920, they made it to the finals, beat the Bucks and Celtics on the way there, played in the NBA Finals. Then they had a down season where they lost to the Bucks. Down season still made the playoffs, though, Shady. Then last year, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7 against the Celtics. Last year, who won there? Bucks won there. Who won there? Sixers weren't there.
Shots fired.
Knicks weren't there. Hawks weren't there. Who was there? Celtics Heat last year. They're 1 win away from going back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Back to back.
Just give me some credit. I know, y'all. I know it still burns in y'all's soul. Burns, get it? It burns in your soul that LeBron James chose the Miami Heat and took his talents to South Beach. Really, it's downtown Miami, but it doesn't matter. I know it still upsets you, but it doesn't matter. What are we talking about? The Heat have more playoff wins, let me do it one more time, than the Celtics, the Bucks, the Suns, the Lakers, the Warriors, since the 1920 season. No, it's not fool's gold. It's cool, y'all. The Heat are a good organization. Jimmy Butler is a really great player in the postseason. Eric Spoelstra is a Hall of Fame coach. Pat Riley runs a great organization, and they're good basically every single year. 2 of the last 4 seasons, they ended the Bucks season. So are the Bucks fool's gold?
I'm telling you right now, I'm not going next. Just telling you.
Talking to you. Ask your question, brother. That's not talking to me.
2 of the last 4
Bucks on the line. Bucks on you.
2 of the last 4 seasons.
She on your head, boy.
The Heat have
I'm
said,
on your head, boy.
heaven on the Cabo. Bye.
Shady, let's kick back.
Yeah, she tearing him up right now.
I'm not tearing him up. It's always about how the Heat are they're just scrappy. They're just figuring it out. Just got a little bit of luck on the way there. What are we talking about?
I don't lie. They play hard. They play tough.
Why can it just be that they're a good organization who plays good basketball?
They're very, very coach well and a great organization. Only thing I don't like.
And she basically talk like us, like as far as how we feel and what the media portrays us to be, that type of thing. And she brought up a pretty good point because, you know, I always ask the question, even though I know the answer, I always ask the question like, damn, why they hate us so much? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, my dog Wes always says it's the beaches, the women, and the weather, which is fact, I think. And the other factor that she brought up is, well, there's a couple of factors, not because I was started to think like, well, what other factors has the nation just hating Miami? And the second thing is, most recent, is LeBron coming to Miami. I think people just hate the fact that this guy decided to come down to Miami and go to 4 straight finals, win 2 NBA championships. I think they just hate that much. They hate that act that much that they just now hate everything Miami Heat and everything Miami. And then the other factor is, if you could bring it to different sports, the Dolphins. The Dolphins is still the only team with an undefeated record championship. And every year the old heads pop champagne when the last team loses. So that is a bit of saltiness that they got as well. And then if you want to take it to baseball, which we barely ever talk about in this sport, the Florida Marlins won 2 championships, and they was born, I think, I don't know, sometime in the mid-90s, and they won 2 championships. And then you got franchises that have been around for decades, almost centuries, and haven't won a championships. And like, damn, Florida Marlins step on the scene, win 2 chips, boom, boom, just like that. And then, of course, the main hate is for the Miami Hurricanes. You know, people hate the Miami Hurricanes because, one, you're called the U. You know what I'm saying? You're called the U. Like, there's a U on your helmet. That's the logo. And that's it.
The university.
There's no explanation. We're the U. That's it. People just hate because of that, right? Like, these arrogant motherfuckers are just going to call themselves the U. The U. And then on top of that, it's almost the same thing with the Marlins. But it's a team that kind of just started getting going in the 80s. And then boom, 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 boom. 3 championships in the 80s. Another championship in the 90s. And then possibly the best college football team ever in 2001. So is you know, that's the journalism hat talking when I say sometimes I forget where I am, where I could be myself.
Shannon Sharp know what it is. He said it.
Yeah. So, and then the fact, you know, we swagged out, you know, we invented swagger, we invented dancing in the end zone, basically on a college level. So they hate all of that. They hate all of that in combination has this vitriol from the nation, the national media, and everything. So I just wanted to shout out Joy for pointing that out. Obviously, she feels it herself. I see it on her Twitter. When you see her Twitter, you see comments. It's nothing but hate for the teams that she represents. So I just got to shout her out. You know, and she's doing the thing. She always has great points. And she looks good doing it. I have to point that out, too. She's the sister of a Hall of Famer, our own Jason Taylor, who's coaching for the Miami Hurricanes right now, helping recruit one of the best defensive ends in the country, which I just reported on CanesCounty.com. So shout out to her and just her representing the crib in the way that she does. But I do want to just talk about the Heat, man, and what this team this year can potentially be, bro. Because it's like this team reminds me of 2 teams that I didn't really particularly like in NBA history. You know, one of which is the Dallas Mavericks. The 2011 Dallas Mavericks with Dirk Nowitzki.
The one that beat us.
The one that beat us. This reminds me of that team. Why? Because you had one superstar that you remember, and you don't remember nobody else on that team.
Dirt.
I mean, Jason Kidd was on that team, but he wasn't. He was kind of old by that point.
Was he?
Yeah, he was on that team. Jason Kidd. That was his only ring.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was a backup though to JJ Barea. Remember that? The short Hispanic guy, JJ Barea. So
yeah, man, balling that. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, this team reminds me of that team where you got one superstar, Jimmy Butler, and you got a bunch of people just out there. I mean, I understand Bam's an all-star, but to me, he's just a dude that's out there. You know, he's just a dude that just contributes on defense. He runs the floor. He rebounds. He hits a couple of buckets here and there. I mean, I could think of maybe 2 games in my mind in the playoffs where Bam actually took over a game. You know what I'm saying? So to me, he's just a role player surrounding Jimmy. Jimmy is that guy who can take over a game. Obviously, can drop 50. I still want to, I still want an explanation from you on why you said you would pick DeMar DeRozan over Jimmy Butler. I'm gonna let you slide on that.
But we're talking about regular season then. We're talking about regular season. We was not talking about playoff Jimmy. You know, we was talking about an individual that was not playing back-to-back games. And, I'm like, once you pay all these individuals the money, that's when they play through injuries and stuff like that. Like what he's doing now, playing through injuries and stuff like that. Regular season, he'll probably just chill at the crib and get the rehab and this, that, and the other. Again, like I said, I apologize last podcast, because even with Kyle Lowry, because we both was feeling some type of way and always felt some type of way about that trade. And he's been the one, like saving us when that bench come in. He's the general and the floor manager at that time. So yeah, Jimmy, I felt some type of way regular season, but I didn't see the vision. I knew the vision was a championship, but I thought the vision was playing all the games in regular season, draining your body to eat like you did when we were in the bubble, playing all season and then getting to the bubble and then having you tired. You seen and you knew what you had to do. I didn't. I was wrong. Westradamus was wrong then. But now I see the vision. I see the light. And whatever you need to do, you need to take a week off. I don't care. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. Now, but as far as Bam, he's still a role player, though. He's a role player, and I feel some type of way about that money that they gave him. They could have gave him half that money and well-deserved money, but you could have used that money to get Jimmy another superstar or another all-star that can really shoot the bar. I
totally agree. I mean, I wasn't agreeing as much at first. I was just like, I'll admit when I'm wrong in certain situations. At first, when they paid Bam, I was like, because I thought he would develop into something better than he is, but he stayed the same. He never really became any better. You thought he was possibly going to jump into like a Giannis like level, what I'm saying? But he's still just a guy. He's a valuable player. He's a valuable player to this team, but I think I hate to say this, but he's replaceable. He's a replaceable player. And the other team I wanted to compare was the Detroit Pistons, the 04 Pistons.
The bad boys?
Not the bad boys, the 04 Pistons with the Wallace, the Wallace boys, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton. I think this team is very similar to that, where I guess the star really was Chauncey Billups.
Okay. Who would be Chauncey? Who would be Chauncey if you would think about it? Jimmy?
Yeah.
All right. So who would be Rasheed?
Rasheed?
UD?
Yeah, UD. Even though UD, and shout out to UD, he was at the Panthers game banging on the won. You can check that out on the MarcWes Instagram. But yeah, UD is the only one who got the personality, even though he doesn't play. You know what I'm saying? And but the thing is, you don't really have those type of players on the Heat. You know what I'm saying? Be honest, Wes, these guys is inconsistent, bro. All of them, except for Jimmy. Jimmy had a down game last night, but you forgive him for it because playoff Jimmy's coming game 6.
But he shot the ball 12 times, though. Jimmy only shot the ball 12 times. Duncan Robinson shot the ball 13 times. Now, you know we're going to lose when you're giving Duncan Robinson 13 shots and Jimmy only have 12. Like, that's Jimmy buckets. That's playoff Jimmy. That's Jim VP. And you know, really, I think I was telling my homeboy the other day, I was like, man, you know, sometimes I'll be feeling shit is scripted too, you know, especially since, you know, Mike Donaghy done came with his documentary on Netflix, and also for what I actually see, and also for what, you know, former players, not NBA players, but NFL players said about things are scripted and stuff like that when it comes to, you know, players when they win and they be like, they could have scripted a better play. You know, I don't know if they're, you know, giving us the truth without giving us the truth. Yeah. But you know, when I actually see these games and seeing that we were coming back down 19 and coming back the way we were coming, and it was going to be Duncan Robinson to bring us back, I think it was part of the script. And, you know, something happened in the end, which was the referees, you know, the men in black and white, they were like, I know I don't like to talk shit about the referees too much. I don't want to sound like Gene, but damn, like the whole officiating this whole damn playoff's been horrible, man. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's been horrible. If you're gonna call bad calls, it can't be so much one-sided. You know, of course, you're gonna be missing calls. I mean, you human, you know, but again, when you got Eric Spoelstra complaining the whole damn game, you know, looking at that referee, I think that same referee, when he actually referee our games where we always lose. You know, and it's just funny that he's the one that's officiating the game with the Miami Heat right now. But still, regardless of the fact, you know, for us to shoot horribly in the actual game and still almost win, I still feel like almost with game 2 when we lost game 2, and then it felt like a win when we had all our players from the G League. You know, we know they're not in the G League, but all our players from the G League almost beat the Knicks then. And then we have Jimmy Buckets, and we have our team. You have Kevin Love, 0 for 7. You have Jimmy Buckets, like, but yeah, how many points he had? What, 19 points, 18, 19 points, shot the ball 12 times. You got Bam. Bam wasn't dominant. I mean, they just was crashing the boards all day. When the New York Knicks crash the boards and they win the offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds, it's going to be a long day for the Miami Heat, especially with the threes not dropping. I felt some type of way in the beginning of the game, first half, when you right there under the rim and you kicking it out for a three, and you right, like it's a fast break, you right there, you could dunk it, lay up, there's nobody there, and you kicking it out for a three. I'm like, take the easy points now. Like, why are we doing this now? You know what I'm saying? But again,
I was feeling the same way, man. There was a couple of times where I was just like, what the hell? They right there in front of the rim. Why ain't they just taking it to the hole? Exactly.
And that was one of the things that frustrated me the most was, you know, how we were not adjusting to what was happening in the game. Normally with the Miami Heat, we're doing something, we're shooting threes, it's not dropping, we're going to drive. We're going to take it to the hole. We're going to try to get fouls, you know, and I don't know if they were not doing that because they felt like they weren't getting the calls because of that referee that wasn't giving us the calls, or they just were stuck in their ways, or you want to take it back to the crib and you want to bury these niggas in Miami-Dade County. I don't know, but it just, that game just seemed off all fucking game. I didn't change the channel because when we were down 19, why? Because I remember when I thought the Panthers was going to lose and be eliminated. You know, and they came back. They came back and did their thing. From there, I'm like, oh, hell nah. You know, I should have learned my lesson when they had the tape around the damn arena a few years back with the Spurs. I was loyal then. I didn't change the channel. I was so mad sitting on the damn couch, you know. But thank God, you know, it happened the way it happened and we wound up winning. And same thing here, man. You know, I just think the Miami Heat, they were stuck in a little rut. Everybody was off. It looked like they tried to injure Jimmy Butler again when he shot that three, and that guy had put his leg right there so he could fall on it. I'm just like, you know, and he's so surprised when you get a fucking flagrant foul. I don't understand that shit. You know, people complain for like stuff that's the obvious, you know. But regardless of the fact, it ain't nothing. We're gonna go ahead and mop them boys tomorrow. And
I feel that way too. I feel it's gonna be a blowout, man. I feel like it's interesting that how you said you felt like this game was just like game 2, and then what happened in game 3? Blew them out of the damn arena.
Yes.
You know, so I really feel like this is gonna be a blowout game. If it's not a blowout game, it's gonna be a Jimmy Butler, game. You know what I'm saying? He gonna drop 40. It's either Jimmy dropping 40 or more, or the Heat are just gonna blow them out. That's how I feel it's gonna go down.
If he even dropped 28, 30, 40, we won. That's how I look at it. The way our supporting cast has been holding shit down, I mean, what else do I expect? I don't expect us to look like, and not just that, Julius Randle, I think he got injured. I don't know if he's going to go through concussion protocol, but it looked like his ass done got into a fight with Tyson on Mayweather. Like his eyes were looking crazy. The first half, he was gone for a little minute.
Why Julius Randle look like he just came out of rehab though, man?
I don't know, man. I ain't gonna lie, he looked rough. He looked rough. He looked like somebody that if you were in the league, you like, man, this dude look like he really about that life. You feel me?
Either that or he gonna sell you a OZ like after the game or something.
You feel me? But yeah, man, I was hoping that we did beat them last night because I was waiting to hear the chants, let's go Heat, like we normally do when we whooping their ass in New York. They talking about it's gonna be MSG Stadium over here. They're gonna and Gene, they're gonna create a new stadium down here for the New York Knicks fans and all the guys that love New York. We're just gonna show you like we've been doing every time we play the New York Knicks and we whooping that ass. They always scream, "Let's go Heat." New York and a few other places always screaming, "Let's go Heat." So it's nothing. We're gonna go ahead and capitalize on that loss, meaning showing you like, look, we're gonna be crashing the boards again. We're going to be doing all the stuff that we're supposed to. It's just last night didn't look like we were as urgent and as the New York Knicks. They knew their season was on the line. They didn't want to disappoint their fans in front of their face. Cool, no problem. I'm thinking cynical too. The referee's giving you all type of bullshit. It is what it is. At the end of the day, man, the Miami Heat's going to go ahead and whoop that ass, beat that ass, spank that ass, and they're going to be on to the conference finals, same like the Florida Panthers. Now, question is who you would want to play. Would you want to play Boston or would you want to play Philly?